I don't like the way the Phils ended last night. I do like the fact that
last night.
So I do like that the Sixers have the third pick in the draft. Now I'm not happy how they got here. All right, let me just put this out to start. We want to hear. Look, we want everyone on the record today. Who you want? Is it last call for not alcohol, but for the third pick? Who do you want? Who do you want, or what do you want them to do? It can be, give up a ton to try to get up, but everyone says it's going to be almost impossible to get Dylan Harper at 2. You could slide back. You could make a trade and completely get out and trade for a veteran NBA player, or you could do what they will probably most likely do, which is just pick a player at 3. Know this, ESPN, their rankings have Ace Bailey as the third best player in the draft. ESPN, from a mock draft standpoint, has the Sixers taking VJ Edgecombe. So just know that, and I think the ESPN people will probably have it wrong, is my guess, because I don't think Daryl Morey is going to be as flummoxed by Ace Bailey not meeting with the Sixers as people perceive, but we'll see. So we'll know more before we go to bed tonight. It does set up for an exciting day. Curious, honestly, how much you even care at this point, because I know interest has been pretty low. And then, of course, who you want, you can weigh in 215-592-9494. No matter how you slice it, it is an opportunity to improve. And so, obviously, we desperately want them to get it right. Your chance to weigh in, 215-592-9494. Now, let's get to the Phils. John, what a wasted opportunity. I mean, Ranger was
magnificent.
Oh, my God, he was amazing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot.
He went deep.
Went deep,
and his pitch that count, it wasn't that high, and it all felt so good,
right?
Despite the fact that we were just sort of dribbling along and limping along, and the offense was nowhere to be found. We knew that it might be tough.
Well, no Bryce. You got Sosa in there. Stott's not. It's not a good lineup. I mean, it's just the bottom of the lineup was really weak.
Houston's got.
Yeah,
pitching.
It's just so. And look, that pitcher is really good also. I mean, him and Ranger were side by side, parallel for a while until Ranger gave up the homer. I mean, we got to say it. But look, Ranger was great. So here's the deal. Let's start with the end of the game. Because obviously we could do a ton on Ranger, and it is phenomenal to know that he's pitching this well. I think he's really back, honestly, to where he was in April and May last year. I mean, he's in that zone again, and it further complicates the offseason and the stretch run, and there's a lot of good things there. But let's start with the bad, because they did lose, and obviously a lot of the chatter after the game has been about the final at bat in Rojas. So here's the deal. If you don't know, let me just bring you up to speed if you don't know. Bottom line is, at the end of the game, the Phillies trail 1-0. It's the 8th inning. The Phils have one guy on because Hader, who's one of the best closers in baseball, had hit a guy. So the Phils have a dude on first base. There are 2 outs, and Rojas is batting. Now, I've got 4 different issues. 4 within this one at bat. And I'm curious kind of what cheeses, everyone the most, 215-592-9494. 4 different issues. Issue number 1, and I'd say this is the one that got maybe the second most discussion after the game. Issue number 1, should Rob Thomson give Johan Rojas this at bat? Now, remember, you got an outstanding left-handed pitcher on the other side in Hader, and you got Rojas, who's a right-handed hitter. Sosa had already started in the game. He's in the game. I mean, he already batted in the inning.
And Buddy Kennedy started as well.
Yeah, and Buddy Kennedy started. So the bottom line is, here's your bench at that moment. Now, and by the way, let me answer the question. Should Rojas get the at-bat? No. Here's your bench options. Stott, Kepler, Marchand, backup catcher. Now, would I give Rojas the at-bat? No. John Ritchie, you're Rob Thomson. You've got door number 1, which is player in the game, Rojas, or Stott, Kepler, Marchand, who gets the at-bat? Bryson Stott.
I don't think it's Rojas.
No, it's Bryson Stott, or it's Kepler. Because that's the easiest transition in the outfield. It's one or the other.
I've seen Bryson Stott start to pick it up again recently, and that really makes me feel good. I have been so worried about him physically, though, knowing that it was now like a nerve thing, that he was sort of hiding from everyone last year.
Yep.
Makes me worried about this time, but I think he's doing some things that prove to me to all of us that he can do this.
To me, it's very
clear.
clear.
If he's an option,
it's either Stott or Kepler.
Kepler's an option,
And I'm not saying they're great, but it's Stott or Kepler.
They're both better than Rojas.
Correct.
And that's the last chance we had.
And I'll take my chances with a lefty against a tough lefty. And I'm not saying it's ideal. It's not. It's not ideal. but I'd sure as hell rather have Stott or Kepler batting in that moment than Rojas. That's the
biggie. Yeah.
Well, okay.
That's a problem.
That's issue number one. Now let's get to issue number two. Issue number two is that this is the group Dave Dombrowski gives Rob Thomson. So let me frame it another way, and certainly for those old enough to remember some of the players I'm about to say, I think this will resonate with you. Here's what Dave Dombrowski has not given Rob Thomson. A Matt Stairs. Some of these guys are going to be lefties, some of these guys are going to be righties. A Matt Stairs.
That's on Dave, too, though. There's a lot of lefties, man. That's part of building a team. I'm just saying. I'm adding into that. You're like, the lefty thing matters.
It's all on Dombrowski when it's the choices, because these are the players Rob Thompson's given. Here's what Dombrowski has not given Rob Thomson. A Matt Stairs, a Greg Dobbs, a Kevin Jordan, a Greg Gross, a Ricky Jordan. Like, these are all quality players that the Phillies could bring off the bench in many different parts of the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. I mean, this is a part of baseball. And part of why Rob Thomson doesn't make the change last night, he doesn't feel great about the Stott or Kepler option. He doesn't love his bench. I mean, his best bench player, Sosa, was already in the game. By the way, did okay last night at times, other times not as much. But, I mean, the bottom line is it's a weak bench. We've known it's a weak bench. We've seen that in the postseason. We've seen how that has hampered Rob Thomson in critical moments, specifically last October against the Mets, when he didn't really feel like he had great options to go to when you have a struggling player, because you don't really have a better player to insert in many cases. So Dombrowski's "here's who you got, Rob" comes into full frickin' focus when I blow a Ranger game because I got Rojas with a guy on first, 2 outs, and he's my batter. All right, that's issue number two. Now, let's get to issue number three. And matter of fact, to set it up, let's listen to how within the broadcast last night, and this was really well done by Ruben Amaro and Tom McCarthy on the NBC Sports broadcast. Reminder, 2-0 count, 9-hole hitter. Trey Turner, who's been swinging a good stick on the on-deck circle. The opposing pitcher has to throw 3 strikes before 2 balls, where I got guys on first and second, and my 1-hole hitter coming up, who's a righty against a left-handed pitcher. Listen to the way, and this is so well done, when it was 2-0 in the moment, listen to how Ruben and T-Mac broke it down.
2-0.
I would really like to see Johan take a pitch here to give, put a little heat on Hader to throw strikes, especially with Trey Turner hitting next.
Nope. That was ball 3. You got to take a pitch there. I know you're not going to always get a fastball, but you're down 1. You're in the top of the 9th inning. You're the number 9 hitter. This guy's got 3 hits, 2 extra base hits against Hader.
Totally agree with you.
Just such bad baseball. I mean, I can't even, I thought of Larry Brown. Larry Brown in basketball used to say, let's play the right way. And I know how to play has changed in difference. I get that. NBA players shoot threes like crazy in ways Larry Brown wasn't coaching when he was there. Baseball players approach hitting different. This is just dumb, bad baseball. I mean, John, I need Rojas to, and by the way, for those that don't know, was a foul.
Why does it seem like he commits these dumb, bad baseball errors so frequently?
He's a bad player. At the major league level, would he beat me or Fritz in a little baseball competition coming up in a week or so? Yes,
easily.
Can he beat Hader? No, no.
All
James, how much did it annoy you, the whole Rojas at bat?
So it obviously drove me crazy.
Yep.
I to be honest though, of the things you talked about, the Dombrowski thing drives me the craziest, because you should have someone you can bat in that spot. Josh Hader is one of the toughest lefties in baseball. Literally, he is the highest paid closer. Like, he is a stud. You should not have a right-handed hitter on your bench. You can come in that spot. Like, that's freaking crazy to me.
It's horrible.
So I would have pinched at Kepler or Stott. I totally agree with you. I'm not worried about the defensive thing. Marsh was on the bench. You can bring Marsh
by the way, I'll figure out the bottom of the 9th.
Well, Marsh can come in and play center field. You're good.
Well, you can do that. This is my last. I also just need to extend the game.
Of course.
The game is about to end unless I get a run.
Yeah, it was infuriating. I can
that seemed to matter
I'll
more.
put Marchand in center field if I have to.
Whatever. I can understand swinging 2-0 in that spot if it's a pitch down the middle of the plate. And I get not having I think Rojas should have the choice to swing there if it's anywhere close, because he's not going to get a great pitch from Hader. And if Hader challenges him, he will beat Rojas. Hader could just throw strikes against Rojas. Of
course he can.
So ultimately Hader has such a massive advantage in that at bat, which is what we're talking about.
But at the end of the day,
you're Johan Rojas.
Yeah, well, first off, Charlie Manuel, 3 words. Know thyself.
Exactly.
Know thyself. Which, put another way in Larry Brown lingo, thyself? I don't know about that. But put another way in Larry Brown lingo, it's, hey, Matt Harpering, your job is to pass the ball to Allen Iverson. Johan Rojas' job, if he's given the at-bat, and he shouldn't have been, is somehow, some way to get on base.
Pass the baton.
To pass the baton to Trey Turner. And by the way, if you missed it last night, Hader hit the first batter. I think that was Buddy Kennedy. He hit Kennedy, but Kennedy swung. So it counted as a strike, even though he got hit by the pitch. Then he hits the next guy.
Well, Kenny was the one who got hit. It was the one who swung. I think so. Was it Sosa who swung through?
No, he hit Sosa.
Sosa. Kennedy swung through. Sosa got on base. Yeah, but Sosa was ahead of Kennedy in the order. That's what screwed me up.
He's hit 2 players in the inning. He's wild to Rojas 2-0. Now think about how dumb this is. And Rojas, who's the worst Phillies hitter that's an everyday player I've seen in a long time, is good idea to swing at this one. Dumb baseball. Let me get to one more thing, dumb baseball. And you can react to all this, 215-592-9494. And I wish I wasn't so riled up, but here's why I am. I view all of this through the prism of the month of October. This isn't about a game in late June. I mean, it is, but it's not. This is all about trying to win a championship. And let me take it to one more level that also bothered me, and I'm curious how many people thought of this in the moment. Why did Rob Thomson give Rojas a green light? He is the manager of the Philadelphia Phillies. Manage the moment. I mean, I know this. When I played, you'd look down, now if nobody's on, nobody's out, you don't have to look down to third base coach. But if it's a situational baseball situational moment, and this is a situation, there's a guy on, it's 2-0, it's the 9-freaking-hole hitter, 1-hole hitter coming up, 2-0, wild pitcher here, okay? He was a great pitcher, but wild in the moment. This is a moment where Rob Thompson's got to say to the third base coach, got to signal to him, you're signaling to Rojas, don't swing! Don't swing! I mean, what's my approach against Jack Fritz next week going to be? He better throw strikes, John, or I'm going to win.
He's not Josh Hader, though.
no, he's not.
Little different.
No, he's not. But you know what? Hader was wild. And so when I say I view it through October, this is the kind of Rob Thomson thing. I don't want to bite them in October. I need Rob Thomson to know his job is like Sirianni. Be the commander. Be the commander. So Rojas should know not to swing. But here's the thing. Because he doesn't know not to swing, and we've seen enough from Rojas through the years, he's a confident player, overconfident. I need Rob Thomson in that moment in the dugout to signal to the third base coach, it's a hold sign, it's a no sign to Rojas. Don't swing. And he obviously don't do it.
Yeah.
John, that whole combination.
Yeah, that's a problem.
You know what I mean?
That's a problem.
That's a problem. That's the manager's job to manage.
Right. You've got a deficient player. You have a method that you could figure out that you can help him.
Yeah,
and just remind him to do the right thing.
It's really irritating. And this isn't Bryce Harper, who, by the way, you would trust in the moment. This is Rojas, the worst Phillies semi-everyday player in a long time. So, look, there's a lot
He's
there.
He's a liability that you do have to manage. You have to manage so that it doesn't weigh the rest of the team down. And you failed in that moment.
You did.
I think it's a good thing to point out.
And that's my thing about October and Rob Thomson. You don't want to see them lose playoff games in a playoff series because of moments like that. All right, a lot to chew on. 215-592-9494. It's a shame that it overrides in many cases a spectacular performance by Ranger. Your thoughts on the end sequence of the game. Which of those situations bothered you more? That this is the player Dombrowski gives Topper, that Topper chooses to go with him, that Rojas chooses to swing, or that Rob Thomson even chooses to allow Rojas to swing? That and more. Phone calls on all of it.